You decide to start using a fragrance you had used years ago, and all of a sudden, you get a strange feeling taking you years back to particular memories you had while applying that fragrance. The memories are so vivid that you feel like you literally live in them again. You've just experienced what is known as odor evoked autobiographical memory. So how did this happen? It is believed that it has to do with brain anatomy. Whereas processing other senses like vision, taste, and hearing goes through the thalamus, post office of the brain, which distributes sensory signals among corresponding brain regions and structures for processing, smells on the other hand take a shortcut into the brain. When we smell, the other receptors inside our nasal cavity detect the various chemical molecules coming from different sources around us before they are processed in the olfactory bulbs, letting us know whether lunch is burning, somebody used your fragrance, or debating whether it's the toilet or just your stinky roommate. The olfactory bulbs, a part of the limbic system, happen to be connected to the hippocampus, where memories are processed, and the amygdala, the structure responsible for emotions. This proximity and connectivity among these structures creates an association wherein smells get processed simultaneously with the context they occur in. An exposure to that particular smell leads to stimulating the memory that accompanied it the first time it had been processed. Just like two chained balls where one is leading the other. For example, you decide to study abroad. You look for a flat and a roommate and you finally settle down. You've basically created an experience which will later become a memory. And then, because of your stinky roommate, you bought an air freshener which you smell all the time you are inside your flat. During this time, your olfactory bulbs, hippocampus and amygdala work all together. The olfactory bulbs process air freshener, the hippocampus and the amygdala both process your experience along with its relevant emotions, all at the same time. You go back home and you come across the same smell of the air freshener you had bought to your flat earlier, then you suddenly feel like you're back abroad in your room with your amazing roommate and maybe also his gas. The odor evoked autobiographical memory is also commonly associated with Garcia effect. The fact that having a negative experience with a certain taste or smell generates an aversion towards thereof. When a person drinks a spoiled avocado smoothie for instance and then gets food poisoning, in the future each time he or she smells avocado or tastes it, they tend to remember that horrible experience they had going through that painful food poisoning, leading them to develop an aversion towards avocado. It is believed that this is an evolutionary trait that keeps people away from possible life-threatening foods or drinks.